welcome to today's episode of our reading. Okay. Oh, I look okay. So we're not talking about myself today. All right. So with no further ado, let's go straight because we need to cover chapter 4 today. Chapter 4 was starting with the number one love language. So we have a lot to cover today, and I want to make sure we do everything latest by 3 o'clock. So let's just start from where we stopped yesterday. For people that watched yesterday's we stopped at chapter 3. We didn't finish chapter 3. So I'm going to continue from where we stopped. As I've said before, go and get the ebook so that you can be reading along or you read ahead of the class. Okay, yeah. So falling in love is not real love. What is it? Question mark. Like, if falling in love is not real love, what then is it? Dr. Peck concludes that it is a genetically determined instinctual component of mating behavior. Like, it is your instinct that tells you that you're in love. It is the way you feel, it is what you're feeling that would make you know that you're in love. In other words, the temporary collapse of ego boundaries that constitute falling in love is a stereotypic response of human beings to a configuration of internal sexual drives and external sexual stimuli, which serves to increase the probability of sexual bonding so as to enhance. Whether or not we agree with that conclusion, those of us who are falling in love and out of love will likely agree that the experience does not catapult us into emotional orbit, unlike anything else we have experienced. Okay, it tends to disengage our reasoning abilities, and we often find ourselves doing and saying things that we would never have done in more sober moments. I explained that yesterday, that when you're in love, you tend to do things that you would not do normally, things that, or you tend to say some things and people look at you like, did you just say that? You say yes. It is not you, it is because you're in love. Now, in fact, when we come down from the emotional obsession, we often wonder why we did those things. Yeah, sometimes you be like, what was I thinking when I accepted this person? Like, where exactly was I going through for me to accept this person to be my lover or to be my husband or wife? You start questioning yourself. It was not you, my dear. Sorry, it wasn't you. It was just the in love experience. when we wave when we wave off the emotions, okay, when the wave of emotions subsides and we come back to the real world where our differences are illuminated, how many of us have asked, why did we get married? I remember when somebody said something like, the day of his, like the first day he got married, that is the day of their wedding night, he said that he or she, I think it was just the wife that was talking here, she said that the man, which is now our husband, did something that night and she had to go into the restroom, into the toilet, and she asked herself that, why did I get married to this person? Because I'm sure during their courtship or dating period, the man never did something like that. He never exhibited some like such character before. But that night when the man did that thing that he did, she said she questioned herself that, am I sure that I married the right person? Did I hear from God? Yeah. You start asking yourself that, why did we get married? We don't agree on anything, yet at the height of the in loveness, we thought we agreed on everything, at least everything that was important. So little things like how to press the toothpaste can cause big problem in the house. On Monday, as I was preparing for work, so I take my niece to school on my way to work. So as we were preparing for school, I'd already I took my brush, I pasted the toothpaste on my on my brush. So I gave it to her that she should do her own. And the way she squeezed the toothpaste, she squeezed it from the down. And I don't know, I felt irritated at that moment. I was not asking her, why did you squeeze it like that? Why did you press it like that? Why did you just press from the down and just press it on your brush? And but the way she did it, I was now and I thought about it, that what if like I was married and my husband did something like that? Would I have said because of that I went out of the marriage? But little things like that causes a lot of problem in marriages. Moving on. Rational political love is the kind of love to which the sages have always called us. Does that mean that having been tricked into marriage by the illusion of being in love, we are now faced with two options? We are destined to a life of misery with our spouse, number one. Number two, or we must jump ship and try again. So to really know that you really love this person, you love this person when there is no reason to love them. That is when you are truly in love. That is when you can boldly say that you love this person. When they do something that does not even warrant you to love them, when they do things that they don't deserve that love from you and you still love them, that is when you can say you truly, truly love this person. That is when your love is tested. You got married to, you like your woman slim, tall, flat tummy, everything, and you got married and this your wife gave birth. She got pregnant and she gave birth, and everything changes. Like her body, she has she now has a big stomach, her breast is saggy, she has flappy arms, she has added weight, and she's trying to lose the weight, but it is not working. Now that your wife is no more you know that your perfect shape that you want, she's not in that perfect shape that you want, what will you do? Will you say because now she's no more slim and the way you want it, you say you want out of the marriage, you say you don't love her anymore? That is when your love is tested. That is when you can now say of a truth that you truly love this person. You love them not because of what they have or because of their physique or because of their material things. You love them for who they really are. When you're saying you love somebody, wait until that love is tested. When that love is tested and you can still stand and say you love this person, then truly you love that person. That is, I love you, I love you. Wait for the love to be tested. That is when you can now say, and we will now say that truly they love this person. Our generation has opted for the later, which is we must jump ship and try again. Yeah, because a lot of series of divorces, people are divorcing. The rate of divorces are now, and if you hear the reason is, to you feel like it's something you can work on, it's something you guys can both agree and somebody needs to compromise and you work on it, but nobody wants to compromise, everybody wants to live. Before we automatically conclude that we have made the better choice, perhaps we should examine the data. Presently, 40% of first marriages in the century end in divorce. 40%, so we have 60% left. 60% of second marriages and 75% of third marriages end the same way. Okay, so let's go again. 40% of first marriages in the country end in divorce. 60% of second marriages and 75% of third marriages end the same way. Apparently, the prospect of a happier marriage the second and third time around is not substantial. So even if your first marriage should end, the probability that your second and your third marriage will not end is low, because it will definitely end. If it could end in the first stage, your first marriage, then the probability of it ending is very high, the second and third. That's why from the chapter 1, the man said he has been married 3 times and still he did not, he has not gotten what love is. He does not know how to love his partner. So yeah, you may be successful, you may be good at what you do, but you're not good when it comes to your home. You're not good with your partner. You don't know your partner's love language. It happens. Research seems to indicate that there is a third and better alternative. We can recognize the in-love experience for what it was, a temporary emotional high, and now pursue real love with our spouse. That kind of love is emotional in nature but not obsessional. It is a love that unites reason and emotion. It involves an act of the will and requires discipline. Underline the word discipline. And it recognizes the need for personal growth. Our most basic emotional need is not to fall in love, but to be genuinely loved by another. love that grows out of reason and choice, not instinct, not your feeling that you love this person. That is not love. Is to know that you truly, truly love that person. To know, for it to be tested. Not that I feel like I think I love this person. There's nothing like you think that you love this person. If you don't love the person, you don't love the person. I need to be loved by someone who chooses to love me, who sees in me something worth loving. That kind of love requires effort and discipline. It is a choice to expend in energy in an effort to benefit the other person, knowing that if his or her life is enriched by your effort, you too will find a sense of satisfaction. The satisfaction of having genuinely loved another. It does not require the euphorical of the in-love experience. In fact, true love cannot begin until the in-love experience has run its course. Yes, true love cannot begin until the butterflies in your belly are not butterflying again. Do you get that? When you don't feel like love, when you're not even feeling that butterfly, when you don't see this person as somebody that you love, that is when the true love, and you still stayed and you're still staying, that is when true. Not when you're feeling the butterfly, it is not when you're over heels in love with that person. That is not love. It starts when all those things evaporate. That is when the love starts. We cannot take credit for the kind and generous things we do while under the influence of the obsession. We are pushed and carried along by an instinctual force that goes beyond our normal behavior pattern. Yeah, I said it before. But if once we return to the real world of human choice, we choose to be kind and generous, that is real love. Yeah, so after you've come back from the in-love experience and you're still kind to that person and you're still nice to the person and you're still loving to the person, then that is the real love. Yeah, because you know that you're not in that feeling of in love experience. You're not feeling that, but you're out of that and you're still doing the normal thing you're doing. So it means that you're truly, truly in love with that person. The emotional need for love must be met if you are to have emotional health. Married adults long to feel affection and love from their spouses. We feel secure when we are assured that our mate accepts us, wants us, and is committed to our well-being. During the in-love stage, we felt all of those emotions. It was heavenly while it lasted. Our mistake was in thinking it would last forever. But that obsession was not meant to last forever. In the textbook of marriage, it is but the introduction. So that obsession, that butterfly in your belly, is the introduction. It's just telling you that. Do you know what is in store for you? Do you know what you're going to see? The art of the book is volitional love. That is the kind of love to which the sages have always called us. It is intentional. That is good news to the married couple who have lost all of their in-love feelings. If love is a choice, then they have the capacity to love after the in-love obsession has died and they have returned to the real world. If love is a choice, then they have the capacity to love after the in-love obsession has died and they have returned to the real world, because it means that they chose to love each other. After the in-love obsession, they still chose to stay together. The kind of love begins with an attitude of away thinking. Love is the attitude that says, I am married to you and I choose to look out for your interest. Then the one who chooses to love will find appropriate ways to express that decision. But it seems so sterile. Some may contend love as an attitude with appropriate behavior. Where are the shooting stars, the balloons, the deep emotions? What about the speed of anticipation, the twinkle of the eye, the electricity of a kiss, the excitement of sex? What about the emotional security of knowing that I am number one in his or her mind? That is what this book is all about. How do we meet each other's deep emotional need to feel loved? If you can learn that and choose to do it, then the love we share will be exciting beyond anything we ever felt when we infatuated. So, in summary, yeah, it's just telling us that love is a decision. After you've seen the good part of that person and you've seen the bad side, you now decide to still stay. That is the in love. That is when you truly love this person. So it is a choice. Yeah, love is a choice. So you chose to stay with that person. It is your decision. So own up with it. Live with it. For many years now, I have discussed the 5 emotional love languages in my marriage seminars and in private counseling sessions. Thousands of couples will attest to the validity of what you're about to read. My files are filled with letters from people who I have never met, saying a friend loaned me one of your tapes on love languages and it has revolutionized our marriage. We have struggled for years trying to love each other, but our effort had missed each other's emotionally. Now that we are speaking, our effort had missed each other emotionally. Now that we are speaking the appropriate love languages, the emotional climate of our marriage has radically improved. When your spouse's emotional love tank is full and it feels secure in your love, the whole world looks bright and your spouse will move out to reach his highest potential in life. But when the love tank is empty and it feels used but not loved, the whole world looks dark and he will likely never reach his potential for good in the world. In the next 5 chapters, I would explain the 5 emotional love languages, and then in chapter 9, illustrate how discovering your spouse's primary love language can make your efforts at love most productive. So, now we are starting the real deal. Remember the topic, the 5 love languages. So now we're starting number 1. What is number 1 love language? Okay, so this is chapter 4. Number 1 love language is words of affirmation. Let me circle it. Words of affirmation. Excuse me. So Mark Twain once said, I can live for 2 months on a good compliment. Yeah, me too. I like when people compliment me. Compliment is not coming from somebody that I love. Oh God. You just be seated over the compliment or the good things they said about you. You just be smiling. Sometimes you forget that you're in the midst of people or you're in a gathering. You just smile. Like maybe because you just remembered something and you smile and they'll be like, what's that? What's funny? I just said, oh, nothing. This is the compliment. So it can live with you for days, for months, for years. If we take with literally 6 compliments a year would have kept his emotional love tank at the operational level. Your spouse will probably need more. So because he said that he can live for if you can live on compliments for 2 good months, does not mean that your own partner too can live for 2 months. Your partner may be 6 months, your partner may be 1 year. So the moment you know that your partner loves this thing, just continue doing it. One way to express love emotionally is to use words that build up. Solomon, author of the ancient Hebrew wisdom literature, wrote, the tongue has the power of life and death. Many couples have never learned the tremendous power of verbally affirming each other. Solomon further noted, an anxious heart weighs a man down, but a kind word cheers him up. Verbal compliments or words of appreciation are powerful communication of love. They are best expressed in simple, straightforward statements of affirmations, such as, you look sharp in that suit. In other words, you look very, very fine in that suit. Do you ever look nice in that dress? Wow, like there is nothing you can wear that you'll never be fine. You're always fine. You must be the best potato cooked in the world. I love this potato. I really appreciate your washing the dishes tonight. Like, it's as simple as that. Just appreciating your partner when they do something nice, when they help you at home with the house chores. So for ladies, I don't want to say this so that I'll not be, I don't know, but I feel like house chores is not for a one person. However, I was brought up to know that as a lady, not even as a lady, even as a man, you cannot be in a dirty environment. But when your partner is helping you, you should At least for once, compliment them. Thank them for doing it. Thank you, baby, for washing this. Thank you for assisting with this. Don't make it look as if that is what they're supposed to be doing. Remember that we all have ego. We are egocentric. So if you leave them and they're always doing and you now leave it to them, you now make it look as if it is their work. They will not do it again. I've said my own. Thanks for getting the babysitter lined up tonight. It's as simple as that. I want you to know that I don't take that for granted. Very, very simple. It's as simple as that. Like, you don't have to use the biggest grammar. You don't have to go in, you don't have to use encyclopedia because you want to. No, you don't have to go that far. You don't have to use a dictionary. Just use something simple. And it goes a long way. I really appreciate you're taking the garbage out. Very, very simple and sweet. What will happen to the emotional climate of a marriage if the husband and wife heard such words of affirmation regularly? Several years ago, I was sitting in my office with my door open. A lady walking down the hall said, "Have you got a minute?" "Sure, come in." She sat down and said, "Dr. Chapman, I've got a problem. I can't get my husband to paint our bedroom. I have been after him for 9 months. I have tried everything I know and I can't get him to paint it." My first thought was, "Lady, you are at the wrong place. I am not a paint contractor." But I said, "Tell me about it." She said, "Well, last Saturday was a good example. You remember how pretty he was? Do you know what my husband did all day long? He washed and waxed the car." So he now asked her that, "What did you do?" Then she replied, "I went out there. I said, 'Bob, I don't understand you. Today would have been a perfect day to paint the bedroom, and here you are washing and waxing the car.'" So Gary Chapman asked her that, "Did he paint the bedroom?" Then she said, "No, it's still not painted. I don't know what to do." Then Gary Chapman now asked her, "Let me ask you a question." I said, "Are you opposed to clean wax cars?" She said, "No, but I want the bedroom painted." Then he asked her, "Are you certain that your husband knows that you want the bedroom painted?" Then she said, "I know he does." She said, "I have been after him for 9 months." Then he asked her, "Let me ask you one more question. Does your husband ever do anything good?" Then he said, "Oh, like taking the garbage out, or getting bugs off the windshield of the car you drive, or putting gas in the car, or paying the electric bill, or hanging up his coat." Then she said, "Yes, he does some of those things." Then he said, "Then I have two suggestions. One, don't ever mention painting the bedroom again." I repeated, "Don't ever mention it again. I don't see how that's going to help," she said. Then, "Look, you just told me that he knows that you want the bedroom painted. You don't have to tell him anymore. He already knows." The second suggestion I have is that the next time your husband does anything good, give him a verbal compliment. If he takes the garbage out, say, "Bob, I want you to know that I really appreciate your taking the garbage out." Don't say, "About time you took the garbage out." Like, is it his job? The flies were going to carry it out for you. If you see him paying the electric bill, put your hand on his shoulder and say, "Bob, I really appreciate your paying the electric bill. I hear there are husbands who don't do that, and I want you to know how much I appreciate it." Every time he does anything good, give him a verbal compliment. Like, give them the flower. Give him his flowers. Give him give him some accolades, because he deserves it. Then she said, "I don't see how that's going to." Okay, now she's saying that, "I don't see how that's going to get the bedroom painted." This woman is stubborn. I can sense from here that she's very stubborn. He said, "You asked for my advice. You have it. It's free." She wasn't very happy with me when she left. 3 weeks later, however, she came back to my office and said it worked. She had learned that verbal compliments are far greater motivators than nagging words. Yeah. I am not suggesting verbal flattery in order to get your spouse to do something you want. The object of love is not getting something you want, but doing something for the well-being of the one you love. It is a fact, however, that when we receive affirming words, we are far more likely to be motivated to reciprocate and do something our spouse desires. We are even far more likely to do way more than what they want, like more than what they expect from us to do. So now in her own case, she wants her husband to paint the bedroom. If she knows how to use the verbal compliment, she would have complimented him in a way that he will not just paint the bedroom, he will go as far as probably changing the roof, doing something more than that. And she'll be surprised. Like, you'll be surprised how thank you for doing this, thank you for coming home, thank you for, you look so nice, you look this, you'll be surprised how these words can, how far they can go. You'll be so surprised. Just fight a little longer, my friend. Miss. Sorry, my phone rang. Encouraging words. Giving verbal compliment is only one way to express words of affirmation to your spouse. Sorry, I was supposed to put my phone on flight mode. I forgot to do that. I'm really sorry. Now let me do flight mode so that any call will not enter. For now, thank you. So encouraging words. So was compliment. The first one was compliment. Now it's encouraging words. Giving verbal compliment is only one way to express words of affirmation to your spouse. Another dialect is encouraging words. The word encourage means to inspire courage. All of us have areas in which we feel insecure. We lack courage, and that lack of courage often hinders us from accomplishing the positive things that we would like to do. The latent potential within your spouse in his or her areas of insecurity may await your encouraging words. I have a story, but because of time, I don't want to share. Let me continue. Alison had always liked to write. Late in her college career, she took a few courses in journalism. She quickly realized that her excitement about writing exceeded her interest in history, which had been her academic major. It was too late to change majors, but after college, and especially before the first baby, so she was married, she wrote several articles. She submitted one article to a magazine, but when she received a rejection slip, she never had the courage to submit another. Now that the children were older and she had more time to contemplate, Alison was again writing. Kate, Alison's husband, had paid little attention to Alice's writing in the early days of their marriage. He was busy with his own vocation and caught up in the pressure of climbing the corporate ladder. In time, however, Kate had realized that life's deepest meaning is not found in accomplishment but in relationships. See, I've said this thing before, and I'm going to say it again. I heard it from a podcast this year, and I'm going to say that the greatest of the achievement you can ever have in this life is your relationship. The greatest of them all is your relationship. So if you have all the old money in the world and you have nobody to come home to in the night, you have nobody to tell you how good you are, you have nobody to compliment you, you have nobody to tell you that you're this, you're that, everything you have is nothing. All that money, all that luxury cars and everything that you have, it is nothing if you don't have a good relationship, if you don't have somebody to love you. If you're not loved, it is nothing. I don't want to get angry. I don't even want to get angry. I'm not saying she's not gonna achieve your goal, but as you're achieving your goals, as you're setting the bar, as you're doing all of that, make sure that you will also carrying your relationship or your love life along. Don't neglect it. I'm talking to you. You don't neglect your love life. I'm saying it now. He had learned to give more attention to Alison and her interests, so it was quite natural one night for him to pick up one of Alison's articles and read it. When he finished, he went into the den where Alison was reading a book. With great enthusiasm, he said, I hate to interrupt your reading. With great I hate to interrupt your reading, but I have to tell you this. I just finished reading your article on making the most of the holidays. Alison, you're an excellent writer. This stuff ought to be published. Write clearly. Your words paint pictures that I can visualize. You have a fascinating style. You have to submit this stuff to some magazines. Alison asked, do you really think so? Then he said, I know so. I'm telling you, this is good. When Kate left the room, Alison did not resume her reading. You cannot resume. Like, you just heard something like that. You not even, you lose focus. You not go, you lose focus. With the closed book in her lap, she dreamt for 30 minutes about what Kate had said. She wondered if others would view her writing the same way he did. She remembered the rejection slip she had received years ago, but she reasoned that she was a different person now. Her writing was better. She had had more experiences, but before she left the church to get a drink of water, Alison had made a decision. She would submit articles to some magazine. She would see if they would get published. Kate's encouraging words were spoken 14 years ago. Alison has had numerous articles published since then and now has a book contract. She's an excellent writer, but it took the encouraging words from her husband to inspire her to take the first step in the arduous process of getting an article published. So please, if you're in that position, maybe you have somebody in your corner and that person is doing so good. They are good at what they do. And you have never for once encouraged them, or you have never for once complimented them. You have never for once say encouraging words to them. Now is the time. Go and encourage that person because you know that they are actually good at what they do. Go and encourage them. You will not die, and it will not take anything from you. Go and encourage them. Perhaps your spouse has untapped more areas of their life. That potential may be awaiting your encouraging words. Perhaps she needs to enroll to develop that potential. Maybe he needs to meet some people who have succeeded in that area, who can give him insight on the next steps he needs to take. Your words may give your spouse the courage necessary to take that first step. Please know that I am not talking about pressuring your spouse to do something that you want. I'm talking about encouraging them to develop an interest that he already has. For example, so husbands pressure their wives to lose weight. The husband says, I am encouraging you. But to the wife, it sounds like condemnation. Only when a person wants to lose weight can you give her encouragement. Until she has the desire, your words will until she has the desire, your words will fall into the category of preaching. Such words seldom encourage. Seldom encourage. They are almost such words seldom encourage. That is, they kill the encouragement. They will not even see. They'll just see as if you're just like body shaming them or something. They are almost always heard as words of judgment, designed to stimulate guilt. They express no love or rejection. If, however, your spouse says, I think I would like to enroll in a weight loss program this fall, then you have opportunity to give words of encouragement. Encouraging words will sound like this. If you decide to do that, I can tell you one thing, you will be a success. That's one of the things I like about you. When you set your mind to do something, you do it. If that's what you want to do, I will certainly do everything I can to help you. And don't worry about the cost of the program. If it's what you want to do, you'll find the money. Such words may give your spouse the courage to phone the weight loss center. The weight loss center rather. So the thing is, sometimes you want your partner to lose weight, but they have not gotten to that stage yet. So I think the best is just to leave them until they get to that stage and they realize that this weight that I'm adding it will start affecting my health. It will affect my performance. It will affect some things in my life. Until they get to that stage that they see the disadvantages, the things that it will cost to their life, then you can now come in and start encouraging them. But if they have not gotten to that stage, there is nothing you can say. I promise you, there is nothing you can say. They will never see it that way. Encouragement requires empathy and seeing the world from your spouse's perspective, putting yourself in their shoes. We must first learn what is important to our spouse. Only then can we give encouragement. With verbal encouragement, we're trying to communicate. I know I care. I am with you. How can I help? We're trying to show that we believe in him and in his abilities. We are giving credit and praise. Most of us have more potential that we will ever develop. What holds us back is often courage. A loving spouse can supply that all-important catalyst. Of course, encouraging words may be difficult for you to speak. It may not be your primary love language. It may take great effort for you to learn the second language. That is me. That will be especially true if you have a pattern of critical and condemning words, but I can assure you that it will be worth the effort. Kind words. So we have talked about compliment. So for love languages, words of affirmation, we have compliment, we have encouraging words, and the third one is kind words. Love is kind. If then we are to communicate love verbally, we must use kind words. That has to do with the way we speak. The same sentence that can have two different meanings. The same sentence can have two different meanings depending on how you say it. The statement "I love you" when said with kindness and tenderness can be a genuine expression of love. But what about the same what about the same but what about the statement "I love you" with a question mark? The question mark changes the whole meaning of those three words. Sometimes our words are saying one thing, but our tone of the voice is saying another. We are sending messages. Our spouse will usually interpret our message based on our tone of voice, not the words we use. "I will be delighted to wash dishes tonight," said in a snarling tone, will not be received as an expression of love. On the other hand, we can share hurt, pain, and even anger in a kind manner, and that will be an expression of love. "I felt disappointed and hurt that you didn't offer to help me this evening," said in an honest, kind manner, can be an expression of love. The person speaking wants to be known by her spouse. She's taking steps to build intimacy by sharing her feelings. She's asking for an opportunity to discuss a hurt in order to find healing. The same words expressed with a loud, harsh voice will not be an expression of love, but an expression of condemnation and judgment. The manner in which we speak is exceedingly important. An ancient sage once said, "A soft answer turns away anger." When your spouse is angry and upset and lashing out towards it, if you choose to be loving, you will not reciprocate with additional heat or with a soft voice. You will receive what he is saying as information about his emotional feelings. You will let him tell you of his hurt, anger, and perception of events. You will seek to put yourself in his shoes and see the event through his eyes, and then express softly and kindly your understanding of why he feels that way. If you have wronged him, you will be willing to confess the wrong and ask forgiveness. If your motivation is different from what he's reading, you'll be able to explain motivation kindly. You'll be able to explain your motivation kindly. You will seek understanding and reconciliation, and not to prove your own perception as the only logical way to interpret what has happened. That is mature love to which we aspire if we seek a growing marriage. So maybe you and your partner, you're arguing about something, and he's lashing out, like he's saying lots of words. If you want to be reasonable, I think the best thing to do is just to be quiet. Let him or she, let them say whatever they want to say. Let them just say everything on their mind. Then when they're done, you can now start, and you say it in a soft and kind tone, so that you don't add more fuel to the fire. So we're going to stop very, very soon because we have a lot of pages to cover and we cannot cover. So with the way, since we are now getting more, we are now going in depth, I think we might probably be treating 2 chapters. We might probably be treating 1 chapter for 2 days. So we'll be taking maybe chapter 2 for 2 days, because we are now getting to the main juice in this book, and so we cannot just take a whole chapter for a day, because we may not really get to understand what we're saying. So I'll be stopping very soon, and because of our timing, I think I'll just be stopping here, because I don't want this live to be too long for others who want to watch it later. I don't want them to see 40-50 minutes and be like, what? And they'll just get discouraged and they'll not even open it. So yeah, let's just stop at 40 minutes. Let's stop at 40 minutes. Yeah, we'll continue tomorrow. We'll finish chapter 4 tomorrow by God's grace. Yeah, so in conclusion, you have learned that number one love language is words of affirmation, and under it we have encouraging words, we have compliment words, and we have kind words. So tomorrow you'll be moving further. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to download the book or you get the hard copy and read ahead of the class. So bye.